Hey everybody, XBT Trading here after the regular trading session on Thursday, May 17th. So going into the session, we were looking at, again, a overnight bearish session with our short-term and larger-term frame being largely neutral to bearish. So with that in mind, we were looking for initial support at 8,300 and 8,318 and initial resistance of 8,330 to 8,348 to see how they played out and to see which direction we might go off the bat in the initial Globex session. Our average daily range for the regular trading session has been, for the last 5 days, a little over 300 points, and for our 24-hour session, a little over 500 points, with volume yesterday around 74.88 contracts traded. So with that said, let's go ahead and see how the day played out. Okay, going into the Globex, our initial support of 8,300 to 8,318 held initially. We made a push higher through the initial resistance, through our second resistance zone of 83.80 to 83.99, and finally up into our third resistance zone of the day, 84.40 to 85.07. Now, a couple things. Here, there's, again, we're bearish to neutral in our overall time frames. This would be an area where somewhere in this larger zone you could have taken a short. Perhaps let's say we split it and took it in the middle at somewhere around 84.70, 84.75. Now you could place your stops above the zone at 85.07 plus. So we're looking at maybe 30 points to the stop side and shorting it somewhere in this zone. Let's say. We'll say somewhere in here. We proceed to show a negative candle. We slice again through what was resistance is now support. We come down. We don't quite touch here. Come back up. You could do a couple things. You could take your initial profits with a 70-point gain, roughly to 8,400 in this area. So you'd have your 2-for-1 return, or you could hold on longer and catch it down into the next zone. Now you can see that we had good contract volume heading into the initial resistance where receptive buyers stepped in. So it wasn't like we were slicing through that. So another spot you could this would be the ideal spot to take your profits here for 140 points per contract. And that would have been trade number 1 of the day. The second overnight Globex trade that wasn't as ideal because it wasn't quite at a zone, but here we consolidated for about an hour. We did go above the zone for a brief spike up. So what could have been trade number 2 could have been here, somewhere in this zone, roughly 83.90. Roughly 83.90 area. Let's see if I can get that on there. Somewhere in this zone. Again, after pushing through it, I would have my stop somewhere above the 83.99, maybe 10-20 points above it, and go again for our 2-to-1 risk return ratio. We hit that quite quickly, hitting the 83.30, 83.48 zone before bouncing back up, and then it was all downhill from there. Red, and then a big red candle on good contract volume. Receptive sellers did step in at this resistance zone right around the 83.80 mark, and it sliced through our what was resistance, now support, our initial support, and then almost down to support zone at 82.50. So if you were to get in at trade number 2 location here, this would be a good spot to perhaps get out And again, I would not initiate a long position here as we didn't touch exactly to our zone, our support zone, and would be going against the bearish nature of the trend. So the overnight Globex session, we could, if we took the one trade, the one thought to be would be in the upper zone, the 8440 to 8507 zone, and then depending upon your contract size and risk, you could get out at either of the two support zones, or you could have carried that thing all the way down into one of the zones, one of the support zones here. So again, there's a nice trade in the Globex. If we come to the regular trading session, we hit opportunity number 1 at the resistance zone of 83.80, 83.99. We never touched that again. So high of day was put in early, and from there we marched down, slicing through initial resistance, which now is support, and we tried to consolidate here a little bit again at our upper initial support line. Now that looked to be a spot where we were consolidating, and then again before another push down. So we worked our way down through that initial support, didn't quite hit the support zone. So you could have taken profits certainly here in the 8300 to 8318 zone, or if you're a little bit more aggressive, you could have held that position through the 230 hour where responsive sellers were here to push contract size up. And again here, there's no reason to sell or cover your position here in the 8220, 8250 zone the way it's going through it. But once we hit the first tap of our support zone down at 8130 to 8150, that's strong support and has some multiple time frame alignment behind it. And the way that we pulled back with a leg of or a wick of the candle kind of says, along with potential range exhaustion during our hitting our roughly our 300 point or 300 handle range of the day. So this ideally is your exit. If we look back, we had 2 real opportunities of the day. One in the Globex, again a short in this 84-ish range, 84.90, 84.70 range, and then again you could take that to exit at the support zone. Our one trade to take during the regular trading hours, regular trading CBOE session, would be the short at the 83.80, 83.89, 83.99 zone, and depending upon your risk and contract size, the ideal exit would have been down at the bottom zone where we had longer term 81.30, 81.50 support. So I hope you all got a couple of those trades, those 2 trades, if not 1 trade, and I will be back momentarily with the trade plan for Friday the 18th. So I hope you all traded well today, and I'll get back to you shortly.